Once again, a big shout out to the volunteers, course workers here at Panorama this past week. They've been working tirelessly to ensure that the racetrack is in top condition for our competitors in all of the events. This is event number 4. We're racing giant slalom today. We had the super combined yesterday, which is a combination of a Super G race in the morning and the slalom in the afternoon. We had Super G on Thursday, and we raced the initial event of this year's World Championships on Wednesday, which was the downhill. We'll get you some stats and results from those previous events as we roll through our day's broadcast here at Panorama. At the finish line for the giant slalom, slated for a 10 o'clock start. We're just a couple of minutes away. Hey, and for all you Canadian race fans, lovers of all things skiing, just to let you know, today on the World Cup circuit, Canada's Dustin Cook took 3rd at the Super G in Norway, in Kvetville. Manny Osborne-Parody was 2nd yesterday in the downhill. So Canadian team showing strongly leading into the World Cup finals, which are happening in France next weekend. Folks, if I can have your attention, we've got our first grouping of visually impaired skiers on course, and volume is down, and we'd like you to be quiet. You can make lots of noise when they cross the finish line. This is the duo of Australia's Melissa Perrin and her guide, Andrew Bohr. Big round of applause for our first skiers in today's giant slalom event of this year's World Championships from Australia. Melissa Perrin and her guide, Andrew Bohr. Their first run time, 1:16.04. On course next, from Russia, Alexandra Frantseva and her guide, Semen Pliatsky. There you have them. crossing the finish line. The duo of Alexandra Franceva and guide Semen Playaskin. Their first run time, 1:14.48. That puts them into first position, moving Perrin and Board into second. Our third team on course from Great Britain, Millie Knight and guide Jen Kehoe. There you have it on the line. The Brits with a solid time, 1:12.90. We're changing the lead very quickly here. They move into first place. Starting third, or fourth, I should say, from the United States will be the duo of Danielle and Robert Umstead. Okay, it would appear that Danielle Umstead has decided not to complete the course. That section right through there, extremely icy. From Belgium, the duo of Eleanor Sana and guide Chloe Sana. 1:17.49. Our final team, again from Belgium, will be Mary Morgan Dessart and her guide Alain Struman. So folks, as a precautionary measure, they've put a hold on the course. Our last two skiers in the visually impaired category, Marie-Morgan Desart and her guide Alain Struman, are in the start gate, waiting for the next start sequence to roll through, and they'll be on course. You see them right there on the Jumbotron. And they are on course. And crossing the finish line, the team from Belgium, Marie-Morgan Desart and guide Alain Struman. Their time, 1:25:58. So we'll have a 2-interval hold before we start the next category, which will be the women's GS standing. Unofficially, in the visually impaired category, in third spot after the first run will be Australia's Melissa Perrine, her guide Andrew Bohr, with a time of 1:16:04. In second spot, the Russians, Alexandra Frantseva, guide Semen Plaskin with a 1:14:48. And winning the first run from Great Britain with a time of 1:12:90, Millie Knight and guide Jen Kehoe. All right, we've kicked things off in the ladies' giant slalom standing category. From Russia, our first skier on course will be Inga Medvedeva. Medvedeva approaching the finish line now. She's about 8 from finish. Standing category, you're going to find a variety of different looks. Here she comes, straight at that line from Russia, Inga Medvedeva. Medvedeva crossing the line with a time of 1:14.09. So we have a gap of 1 minute and 15 seconds in between skiers. Our second skier of the morning in the women's giant slalom standing category will be Germany's Andrea Rothfuss. And following Rothfuss will be our first Canadian of the morning will be Alana Ramsey. So we're going to make a little bit of noise for Alana when she's in earshot. After Alana will be Slovakia's Petra Smartsova. The United States' Melanie Schwartz, followed by Laura Villeneuve. And here she comes from Germany, Andrea Rothfuss, our second skier in the women's giant slalom standing category, on the line with a time of 1:09.63. Okay, we'll watch the monitor. Should be just a few seconds, and there you have it, out of the start gate and on course, representing Canada, Alana Ramsey. Alana looking solid in the midsection of the course. Watch it through the middle portion. As I mentioned, course is very, very slick. Skiers having to rely on their technicians to make sure that equipment is in perfect tune. Here she comes. Last couple of turns prior to the finish line. Bring her home, Canada. Here she comes, right at us, Alana Ramsey. One 13:04. Alana currently sitting in a second spot. Behind the time set by Germany's Andrea Rothfuss. All right, following Alana, we're going to have Slovakia's Petra Smartsova. Smartsova on course right now. Petra looking really clean down this bottom section, stomping on that outside ski, getting really nice angles as she approaches the finish line. Here she comes, Slovakia's Petra Smartsova. One to 18. One 18.10 the time for Smartsova. Putting her in fourth position currently. On course next from the United States will be Melanie Schwartz. Correction on the time that I told you for Smartsova, it's actually 1:11.81, putting her into second spot. Moving Alana Ramsey into third. Melanie Schwartz from the U.S. on course right now. Working that ski beautifully through there. I cannot emphasize enough how icy that track is right now. We've had day after day of racing, sunshine and then cold temperatures at night. Things set right up. So Schwartz really digging in right now, approaching the finish line. You can see right in there, that is the same area where her teammate Danielle Umstead had some trouble. Just a little bit slick, and she leant in before she had good pressure on that outside edge, and it drifted away on her. Too bad. Bad luck for the U.S.'s Melanie Schwartz. Our next skier on course will be Romania's Laura Velenu. You folks that are in the gallery, take a look up above the race course. You can see the first of several paraponts that will be flying over the course of the day here at Panorama, getting a bird's eye view of the GS happening here during this year's Alpine Skiing World Championships. On course, Velenu approaching the finish line. 3 turns from the line. Here she comes. Bring her in. Her time for this morning's first run of the giant slalom is a 1:15:39. Next skier on course after Villeneuve will be the Netherlands' Anna Jochemsen. Anna was 3rd yesterday. Yesterday's event, the Super Combined, which was a run of Supergiant Slalom followed by a run of slalom. She's going for it, getting pushed to the outside, which is what happens. The force is being applied to these athletes. Very, very strong, even in giant slalom, which is a slightly slower event than the Super G. But this course is set to open up top, and then it tightens right up through here. So the athletes have to be on their game. And you can see that's exactly what occurred to Jochemsen, carrying too much speed going into that really, really turny section. Caught her by surprise that she has gone out, will not complete her first run, which moves us to our second American of the morning. Stephanie Jallin will be on course. Stephanie came 4th in yesterday's Super Combined. We'll see how she fares in the giant slalom. Again, this is a women's giant slalom standing category. So folks, take a look at Stephanie and see how she is skiing. See how she works the ski. And notice that she has 1 outrigger, not 2. Look at the speed that she's packing through here. Let's bring this gal in. I got my fingers crossed she can hold it together through this turn here. This is the slick one. She nailed it. Come on, girl. She's got it. All right. Here she comes. Right at the finish line. From the United States of America, Stephanie Jallin on the line. Her first run time. 1:12:20. Currently in 3rd spot unofficially. Okay, gang, here comes our second Canadian of the morning, Erin Latimer. It looks like Erin's had some trouble right off the hop. She didn't have a good top section, I guess, has gone out. Again, it's just a testament as to how icy it is out there. Okay, so we'll have a hold of just a second or two. Make sure that Aaron is off the edge of the course, and we will come at you with back-to-back Russians, starting off with Maria Papulova, and then her countrywoman Anastasia Korosheva. See, our course slippers are working on the bottom section of the GS here, just trying to knock the soft snow on the outside of the arc of the turn. That's where the problems can occur with these skiers. If they drift a little bit wide of the gate, there's a lot of soft snow that builds up. So that's the course slippers' job, is to knock those little piles of soft snow as far to the outside of the turn as possible. You can see our next skier, Russia's Maria Papulova, being held in the start. We have to wait for the timing system to complete at least one cycle before they turn her loose. On course from Russia, Maria Papulova. All right, this is better. This time change is throwing us for a little bit of a loop this morning. Normally, we would be in sun by now. So you see the sun just hitting the top of the GS course. So it's coming our way. Thank you for your patience, folks. Everybody chilling in the finish line.
Is that good?
Papulova was 5th in yesterday's Super Combined. Has skied all 3 events up until today, so the 4th event happening right now. We'll see how she fares in the giant slalom. And here she comes, coming into view. Right underneath the bottom of the slalom hill. We'll be using that on Tuesday. Bring her in, everybody, from Russia, Maria Papulova. Good time, 1:12.96. Unofficially, I think Papulova moves into 4th position.
Want some cheese?
Our second Russian, Anastasia Korosheva. First time we've seen Anastasia this week. Obviously preferring the tech events, GS, and we'll probably see her again on Tuesday for the slalom. Uh-oh, the crowd goes wild. My partner in crime, Mr. Josh Dukes, in the house.
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry that I took a little bit of time. I just had to go do my makeup after doing a little forerun. I made it back here a few minutes ago, but the U.S. team was heckling me. Just straight up, you looked rusty. I'm like, oh, geez, thanks, guys. It felt rusty, but I don't need you to tell me it looked rusty. You should say, hey, man, why aren't you racing? Because you're good. And I'm like, oh, I'm rusty.
Here she comes. Let's bring our girl across the line, the second Russian. Her first appearance at this year's World Champs, Anastasia Korosheva. 1:14.51, the time for Anastasia. Which brings us to our final 2 ladies in the women's GS standing competition. This is going to be good. This gal has owned the top step of the podium in virtually every event she's entered this week from France. It's going to be Marie Bochet. Watch this girl arc 'em up. So Josh, we were seeing just how well Maria's skied the last few events, and she looks to be in the driver's seat through here. Beautiful arc turns. She's got to hang it in here. This is where it's tricky. Nailed it. Well, got a little bit twisted.
Yeah, there are some slippery spots out there for sure. Beautiful.
Wow. Oh, she owned this one.
Yeah, you know,
1:07.11. That's first place unofficially with one skier to go. Remember, it's a 2-run event. Larry had a great run.
Awesome. Oh, that's sweet, Jeff. Thanks, man.
Yeah, me, you, Pierce, and Jason.
Okay.
We're on the rush. Hey, you know what I've been doing? I've eaten breakfast.
Final skier in the women's standing category, Katrina Schaber.
We're gonna put Kimberly in the sunshine too. This is awesome. Kimberly has been very patiently hanging out, waiting for the tech events, training some slalom, training some GS. Was here early in the season with the team, getting some fall laps on the GS run. Has also been up training some, sketched a little bit. I don't know if she's going to have it to be able to get up on that next gate.
What I saw from Kimberly is she came out of the gate strong. Knowing it was slippery, she came out strong and aggressive and then continued to build momentum, which was exactly what she was hoping for. Of course, these icy patches on a bit of a fall away coming down into Coach's Corner. It's really tough to keep positive traction there and really disappointing for Kimberly, but I'm sure she'll be coming back strong in the slalom event couple of days.
Tough luck for Canada's Kimberly Joins. Let's find out what happens to our second competitor in the women's giant slalom sitting category. That will be Germany's Anna Schaffelhuber, followed by Austria's Claudia Loesch, Japan's Momoka Muraoka, the United States' Lori Stevens, and Elena Forster from Germany. And rounding out the grouping in the women's GS sitting category will be Australia's Victoria Pendergast. Schaffelhuber skiing that top section very, very cleanly.
Yeah, she knows when to charge it right now, which is good, and she's also keeping things in check over some of those slippery sections. So she's got the memo. She's charging now. She's getting a little bit of confidence coming into the lower part of this course. Knows that she really needs to dig deep here. She's got to challenge the hill if she wants to have a chance to keep the lead or build a lead over Austria's Claudia Loesch.
In and out of the shade, which is going to be interesting. We'll find out. Down through here, still going to be fairly dark the remainder of the way down. Remember, this is the gate right here that's been catching a few of the earlier skiers. No, a little bit of a sketch, stood it up a bit, lost some flow. It is very, very round down here.
Schaffelhuber with great speed coming across the line. For sure, she's got to be happy with that first run in today's two-run GS. 109.50 is our current lead time and the time to beat. On course, Austria's Claudia Loesch.
Claudia won yesterday's competition in the Super Combined, so she has to have really positive energy going into today's GS run. Little different set from yesterday's Super Giant Slalom. Lower start, and you can see that she is making the most of it through here.
I imagine Claudia may be one of the most aggressive women skier in the category today. The Austrians historically are very good in all conditions, so icy, grippy snow, second nature to these athletes, which is why we're seeing Claudia absolutely rip this hill up today.
Incredible. Look at the moves coming down the last series of gates as she approaches the finish line. Ladies and gentlemen, here she comes on the line from Austria, Claudia Loesch.
This is a good run for Claudia, no doubt. I can't see the clock because it is so sunny here. Oh, 1:11:38. I do not think that's good enough for the road time this morning, but it is hunting for run number 2.
So, folks, remember, this is a two-run combined event. You got to come back with a second run. That starts at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Momoko Muraoka from Japan on course.
You got to stand up your first run to be able to play in the afternoon. That's how it works in the wide open world of technical ski racing. The tech categories are giant slalom that we're viewing right now and the slalom that we'll see on Tuesday. Momoka Muraoka from Japan on course right now. Momo was 4th yesterday. He's been in the mix in each of our competitions leading up to today's giant slalom. Here she comes.
Real fired up from Momoka, right? Newer skier on the circuit, may not be as familiar with these icy conditions, but yet really committing to the turn, really sending it right now. Like, this is great skiing. Let's bring her down.
Solid on the line, Japan's Momo Muraoka. 1:15:44.
Great run for Momoka.
American Lori Stevens will be our next competitor. Lori was 3rd in yesterday's Super Combined. So that placed her on the podium. Just got to give her some positive energy heading into today's giant slalom.
Really starting to get some big angles right now, so we're getting onto a pitch where Lori's comfortable and trying to find as much speed as she can off that hill. comes over this final pitch. It's a little bit icy and a couple turns that fall away on you, and she's skiing them smart, so this is good to see. She's hunting. She wants this.
This is the money turn right here. Very slick in there. Managed to negotiate that just fine, which sets her up to arc some really round turns through here. You see how she got a little bit bucked there? Pull it back together, and crossing the finish line in fine form will be the United States' Lori Stevens. Her time for the first run, 1:19.69.
On course, Annalena Forrest of Germany. Historically very strong in GS, so I'm expecting big things from Annalena today.
Annalena finished in 5th position in yesterday's Super Combined event. Lighting improving every minute as the sun gets a little bit higher here.
It may be improving, but this middle time right now is always tough for the athletes. Just in and out of the light, in and out, in and out, in and out. Hopefully they've got good goggles to manage that light change.
It's got to be a tough call to make at the start line, huh, Josh, with whether you're going to go with a lighter lens or a darker lens.
No, I go with the prism lens. That way it covers all the territory. This is great skiing by Annalena. She's charging down.
Here she comes, 2 gates from the finish, ladies and gentlemen. Make a little noise for the girl from Germany, Annalena Forster. Her first run time, 1:18.36.
Rounding out our women's sit ski category today, Victoria Pendergrass from Australia is now on course.
We haven't seen Victoria yet this week. I'm interested to see how she rolls.
Been watching her warm up in training and on the training course, and she's committed right now to this ski, and I find that she's skiing very, very well.
Looks like she's packing some heat as she moves through that top section of turns here at Panorama.
She looks fast. It looks like she trusts the snow, and she really wants to get her grip on that ski, creating big angles and developing a lot of speed, so fast.
That bodes well if she can hold that together for the entirety of the course. Let's find out how she does down here. Really had to lay it over, made a beautiful turn through there. Here's the slick section. There it is.
Oh man, it's like you called that, Drew. Next time you just got to keep that into an inner voice. She might have made it through. Yeah, but Drew's right. It does get really slippery in there. And not only that, the slope starts to fall away on the athletes. So it's dragging them one way. The course wants them to go the other way. It's a fight that you got to be ready for. I know Victoria's going to be a little bummed about that because that was a great run.
No kidding. She had an awesome run going up to that point, and you can see the athletes probably starting to look at the finish line going, I nailed this. I got this going on. I'm going to keep the hammer down, get to the finish line, and that one slick gate. So I like to hope that the coaches have been able to relay that information back up to the start tent to let the remainder of the skiers know that there is one tricky gate there. Man, you negotiate that, and then you can own that bottom 7 turns.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of slippery sections out there right now. We're at day 4, 2015 IPC Alpine Skiing World Championships, run 1 of the GS. We're moving in next to the men's giant slalom visually impaired category, just a few minutes.
So apparently I made a mistake, and I've got to apologize to Kimberly Joins. There's not one slippery section. There are 44 slippery sections on the giant slalom today. 3 minutes in between each one of our categories, so we've wrapped things up on the women's side with the women's giant slalom sitting category. We move next to men's VI. We have got a full roster of competitors in this one. Kicking it off with the Russians, Valery Redkozubov, guide Evgeny Geroev, followed by another Russian duo, Ivan Frantsev, and guide German Agronovsky. Ivan was second in yesterday's Super Combined. Right behind the Slovakians, who are right behind the Russians right now. Miroslav Haras took the victory in the Super Combined yesterday with Maros Hudek. Following the Slovakians will be the boys from the Czech Republic. That will be Patrick Hetmer and guide Miroslav Makala. The Americans, Mark Batham and guide Katie Yamamoto will be next. They came in 5th just off the podium yesterday. Slovakia's Marek Kubaka and Maria Zatovikova will be next out of the chute, followed by another Russian duo, Alexander Fedorak and Artem Zagorodowski. On the line from Russia.
You guys are very good at being quiet. Thank you. This is very, very good. But I notice I'm getting a lot more noise out of the Sunshine crowd over the crowd that's just patiently waiting for daylight savings to catch up.
So the time for Valery Redkozubov and Evgeny Geroev, 1:06.83. The next Russian duo on course, Ivan Frantsev and his guide, German Agronovsky. Crossing the finish line, looking super strong, the duo of Ivan Frantsev and guide German Agronovsky. Their first run time, 1:08.44. Next we'll have from Slovakia, Miroslav Haras and his guide, Maros Hudek.
Again, the fall-away turn in there, just coming into coaches, is proving to be very tricky for all athletes, all categories across the board. On course from Czech, Patrick Hetmer with guide Miroslav Mikala. Smooth and into the lane. They're just staying ahead right now. They're not pushing super hard, but they're also skiing very clean and staying ahead of this 20 course, which is letting them stay smooth.
Okay, there, just kind of do the slow. Not challenging with that beat for some of the athletes. Just getting dusted and still keeping it clean. Very strong skiing. Welcome them to the finish line, everybody. From the Czech Republic, Patrick Hitmer with guide Miroslav Makala. 1:07.15. That's good for second place. Of course, from the United States, Mark Batham and Katie Yamamoto from the United States. Strong ski here.
Hey, send it to the finish.
All right. 1:10.73. Mark Batham and Katie Yamamoto. Next on course is a B1, so we're going to give total silence from now. Make some noise for the Slovakian. Wow, Maria Kubaka, guide Maria Zatovikova. Which might be one of the most amazing and most powerful examples of Paralympic sport right now. Completely blind coming down the track. Only on feel and trust the guide in front of them. Unbelievable.
Look at that time. 1:10.58. Very respectable first run time for the Slovakians. Let's see. We've got Marek Kubaka and Maria Zatovikova with a 1:10.58. On course next from Russia, Alexander Fedorak and Artem Zagorodchik. Great skiing for the Russians. Alexander Fedoruk and his guide, Artem Zagorodskik.
Up next from Italy, we have Giacomo Bertagnoli. Guide, Kili Crispiano.
First time we've seen the Italian pairing on the race course this week. Giacomo Bertagnoli and Achille Crispino wearing bib 32.
This is good, fighting right to the finish line. Wow, great run from the Italian duo.
The time, 1:12:57 for Giacomo Bertagnoli and guide Achille Crispino.
On course from Spain, Gabriel Juan Jose Yeps. Guide, Javentura Fia. These boys are carrying great speed coming down here. I kind of can imagine the challenges with this and the shadow and some of the shadow, and it's really peppered this morning with the early race start with the daylight savings time. And these athletes seem to just be working through it, but what a great challenge today.
Awesome, great tuck coming across the finish line from Spain. Juan Gabriel Gorce and guide Javier Ferrer Ventura, a very respectable 1:08:69.
Up next from Slovakia, Krakow guide Martin Motka. On course. Great run. They really fought that one down all the way. Really, really good effort. And the light change didn't seem to affect them a whole lot, especially on some of those followaways. Great ski by the guide today. Really keeping a clean line for the athlete.
Joshua mentioning the snow that's getting kicked up by some of the guys, forcing the athletes in behind the ski right through that. That'd be a little disconcerting.
Combine that with light to shadow. Just like, I think that would be hard for anybody, like somebody with visual impairment. Tremendous athleticism. Beautiful.
The next team out for Poland. Maciej Kretzel and Anna Ogarzinska. Wow. Beautiful job of skiing through there. Maciej Kretzel with guide Anna Ogarzinska from Poland.
A great first run. I know that's right in there with the top times today. On course, Juan Santacana, guide Miguel Galindo from Spain.
Okay, and folks, you have to help me out. I was a little disappointed in the cheering at the end of his run yesterday, so if we can have a 10 and make Spain feel like that would be good.
Should be easy to cheer this one on. What a great run these guys are having. They're already in the green, and it looks like they're continuing to break through. Perhaps these conditions are familiar to them.
Santa Cana came second, or third, I should say, in yesterday's Super Bowl.
All right. Great run from the Spanish duo. Well, that's fast. That's really fast. Where's our timing board?
That was a quick one. Juan Santacana and Miguel Galindo from Spain. Unofficial, gentlemen, but you are standing in first place according to our calculations. Leaving one team from Slovakia. Mikael Beladik and his guide Martin Pavlak. This week, so his first foray into this year's Good push to the line for the Slovaks. Mikael Beladik, partner and guide Martin Pavlak. Their first run time, 1:12:31. So we'll do some quick calculations and give you the top three in the men's giant slalom visually impaired category. Just bear with us.
We got a much bigger field today. We have 100 athletes on the dot, and that is not uncommon at any major event. You'd find that most athletes that run speed will run tech. Not exclusively. There's a few speed specialists for the most part. But there's a lot of tech skiers that come in that really focus their efforts on GS and slalom. So as we get through the men's field, which typically is the largest right now, men's standing and men's seated, we're going to see a lot more depth and guys that specialize. So they're going to be really challenging this hill. And these icy conditions are challenging for some and maybe favorable for others.
Unofficially, the top three in the men's giant slalom visually impaired category from this morning's first run, sitting in third place with a time of 1:07:15. From the Czech Republic, Patrick Hitmer and Miroslav Makala. Sitting in second position with a first run time of 1:06:83. From Russia, Valery Redkozubov and guide Evgeny Geroev. And taking the win in the first run from Spain, Juan Santacana and guide Miguel Galindo. We'll jump into the men's giant slalom standing category with Russia's Alexander Vetrov. Vetrov was 8th in yesterday's Super Combine. Countryman and teammate Alexei Bugaev, who won yesterday's Super Combi, will be starting second. Niko Panjanshits from Austria will start third. Fourth will be another Russian, Alexander Alabiev.
I got Matty Hallett right beside me here. This is his category, and much like myself, not a GS specialist. So taking today to rest in anticipation for slalom on hay fever this coming Tuesday. Matty, what do you think? Our next field, men standing, pretty intense. What would your approach be if you were to run today's hill?
On course.
Well, I think you're going to see these guys. And
they're all skiing really well. So it's whoever can take the most chances and get to the bottom clean is gonna win today.
It's like I said earlier on, this is, we have someone on course here. Let me have a look at that start list. Who do we got? Alexander Vetrov of Russia on course. Remember, folks, we can make noise all day long now. These athletes want to hear you. They want to feel you. Men standing, Alexander Vetrov.
And here comes the sun. Take a look at the track right now. Very little in the shadows. Okay, these guys are going to be able to light it up. Here he comes. Let's make a little noise for the first Russian, Alexander Vetrov.
He's digging the hill right now. You can tell that the icy conditions are something that he's all right with right now. What a great run! Alexander Vetrov from Russia.
Very good time to kick off this category with a 1:05.17. All right.
Time to beat, and his teammate Alexei Bugiev, he may be able to do that. This guy, he is so athletic and so hungry, so competitive, and had a great career in the few years he's been on the circuit.
Bugiev has been this, if not on the podium, sniffing around the podium since we started this off on Wednesday. So I expect nothing different from the Russian on this first run of today's giant slalom event at the 2015 Alpine Skiing World Championships. Here he comes. Look at this. Clean, arc to arc. Beautiful turns.
Really just showing us how it should be done, leading by example, and I would argue this guy would stand up on a World Cup able-bodied event. He is so athletic, finding speed everywhere, and there's nuggets all over this hill, so he's just digging deep, making the most of them. At fall away, no issues whatsoever for Bugiev. Solid
Bring
run.
him in. Our
Very,
second
very
Russian.
strong first run.
Wow. Check that time out, Josh.
1:01.37, the new time to beat. And I feel like there's guys here today that can and will try to do just that.
Hey, Josh, guess who's
Austria.
next?
I know we have a lot of Austrian fans today.
Yeah.
Making noise all day, every day. Austria's Nico Pazjacic.
Hold it. Nico Pajancic. There he is. All right. We have to get the pronunciation correct.
You're right, Drew. I'm leaving you the big words. I'll fill in the color. You get all the rest of those. You're good at it, man. Maybe me, not so much.
Oh, I had to go to school. Compliments of our Austrian contingent behind me. Pajancic's looking pretty strong right now. Let's see what he's got to give us. This is some fine skiing as well. Nico looking solid. Here we come. This is money right in here. Has he got it? Yeah. Couple more turns. Setting himself up. Drilling it to the finish. Pajancic on the line from Austria. A 1:05.17. So right now we have Bugiev in first place with a 1:01.37, and the Russian and Austrian have identical times of 1:05.17.
From Russia, Alexander Alebiev on course.
All right, we've got identical times, and we've only had 3 skiers go out. This is going to be a really good category.
I think we're gonna see very competitive times for the next 2 categories, because like I said earlier, not the most challenging hill, perfect conditions, but lots of nuggets in there, lots of little micro train that a guy can work. There's a lot of smart skiers out here, so expect big things all day.
Alebiev approaching the finish. Still trying to drill those skis forward. Here he is on the line from Russia with a 1:04.95. Alexander
44-45. Out of Russia, Thomas Groscher up next. Marcus Salter following him.
here on course from Austria will be Thomas Grochar, followed by another Austrian, Marcus Sulcher, followed by the Frenchman, Cedric Amafroy-Boissard. We've got some hot and heavy competition on course right now. Here he comes, the Austrian, Thomas Grochar. Grochar looking very, very strong through here. Okay. In through this little shaded spot. There's the money turn right there. Still in the shadows. Here he comes.
Really athletic, charging this line.
Great run for Austria's Thomas Grochar with a 1:06.88.
On deck in the gate, Marcus Sulcher, Austria. He's got really low points. 1.19 means this guy's good. He's a solid all-around skier. Very successful in giant slalom.
Oh yeah, you got to know the action is going to continue to get hotter and hotter and hotter as the sun comes up a little bit higher here over top of the Purcell Mountain Range in southeastern British Columbia. We have got the men's giant slalom standing category here. Run number 1, Panorama Resort, this year's 2015 IPC Alpine Skiing World Championships. On course from Austria, it's Marcus Sulcher. Let's see what he's got coming towards the line. He's still drilling it, and his time for run number 1, 1:02.12. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Good for second place for Marcus Sulcher. Very close to Alexei Bugiev, Russia, with the current lead time.
You having fun over there, Josh?
I'm having a great day, man. I'm trying to find, like, where did our tent go? This sun is intense. It's really good. I like it, but I'm going to burn my fair skin.
The tent had an unfortunate accident. It went one-on-one with a windstorm last night and lost.
Well, good to know the update on that. On course from French, Cedric Amafroy-Boissard.
Vas-y, Cedric! Whoa! Did he stay in?
Talking about the sunshine, I wonder if it's starting to play effect on the snowpack there, if it's changing the deck.
Might be. There's every possibility. Cedric seemed to be going really, really well there. She seemed to get maybe a little twitch on the ski and got pitched forward. And that was it, traveling at that speed. Don't forget, this is giant slalom. They're still rocking at 60 kilometers an hour through here. Little bit inside, lost the edge. That's all it took. Okay. Austria, are you ready to make some more noise? Here comes Martin Wirtz.
You know what? It looks like Mitch Gorley of Australia to me. I'm not sure what happened to Martin Wirtz, but if I know any better, this is Mitch, the way he's ripping right now.
You are right. That's Mitch Gorley moves if I ever saw them. So Wirtz is out.
Skiing well all week. He's not had the results he's been looking for. He is a GS skier. This is going to be a great time. I know he's clean. He's aggressive.
Wow.
He's running deep, and he's beating the pants off the panels. Nice run by Mitch Gorley. Great first run. Good for 1:03.68. Currently in third position, but we're going to confirm that with the board.
Yep.
It's true. That is good for third position for Mitchell Gorley from Australia so far in the first run. GS 2015 IPC Alpine Skiing World Championships.
On course from Japan, Gakuta Koike. Gakuta having a very good top section. Japanese renowned for their technique. Very, very smooth, very precise movements over top of the ski. Beautiful form for Japan's Gakuta Koike. Here he is on the finish line, everybody. 1:05.98.
Yeah, that's a great run for Gakuta Koike. I'm sure he'll be happy with that. It puts him in a good position for the second run coming up this afternoon. I know Archer's going to be super hyped for Matej Lansinger on course.
Oh yeah, Matty Lansinger in the mix each and every time he pushes out of the start gate. Let's see what he's got. Oh, getting a little bit rotated through there, but I see a green light. Watch this section. Lansinger diving past coaches, should be coming at us pretty quickly.
Lansy fighting to get low every single turn, moving across the hill really well. It does get a bit swingy down here. Turns are a little bit more offset. Coming into this fall away in the shade. No problems at all for Lansy. Just showing his strength here. Working the train really well. Going deep. Running the line. Great run for Lansy. 1:04.14.
104 definitely puts him in the hunt.
51 on course.
On course from Japan, Hiraku Misawa. This guy's always so fun to watch. So low, so dynamic. Such a strong skier, so athletic.
Now the Japanese skier on course currently looking at the gentleman who came in 7th in yesterday's Super Combined, Hiraku Misawa.
Misawa getting tight to every panel here. You see how he brings his outriggers in because he just wants to run that line just a little bit closer to the panel, cutting off a little bit of real estate, going fast.
I might say the net here.
Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring down Hiraku! Fighting in and out of that light. Oh, beauty, and staying low. This is where you tire. Wow, what a great run for Hiraku. 1:07.09. From France, on deck, Romain Ribot on course.
All right, big props to our slip crew. Just talking with Mitch Gorley, mentioning that the surface is actually really, really corny, right? He's just talking to Josh about it right now, and it doesn't matter how hard the slip crews work. If they slide off a section of this loose stuff, more stuff just comes back up to the surface. So it's going to be a bit of a battle for the next little while until the sun really heats this stuff up. In the meantime, looks like we've got another Frenchman on track. We've got Romain Ribot. On the line, here he comes. From France, 1:06.01.
On course from Slovakia, we have Martin France.
Just trying to check out the results for Martin from yesterday. We don't have that information. Pretty tough to compare a super combined with one run of Super G and a run of slalom with a giant slalom that we're viewing right now. Just gives you an idea that, as we mentioned, many of these athletes competing in several different events over the course of this year's Alpine Skiing World Championships. Martin France from Slovakia being one of those competitors. All right, good solid moves in the bottom series of turns from Slovakia's Martin France. Here he comes on the line. First run time for Martin France is a 1:04.37.
It's a good run. That's going to play. That's going to leave him in a decent position coming into second run this afternoon. Just getting a report from some of the athletes that the snow is still in great shape. A little bit of a loose slough coming in sections, but overall, really consistent top to bottom. Again, some icy sections there that unfortunately got the best. Thomas Phil. Going back to the replay here for Switzerland's Thomas Phil. Coming into the shade, a little bit of a fall away there just before coaches, and you lose that traction. It's hard to get it back, and sometimes you just get spit out. Bummer for Thomas Phil.
Man down. Yeah, he's been having a rough go at it. Had a pretty good Super G yesterday, but then did not finish his slalom portion. And I know he also found the net on the downhill. So it's been a rough go, but he keeps finding the start gate each and every day. So we got to give full props to Switzerland's Thomas Phil for tenacity. Let's see what his countryman, Robin Kusch, can do. First time we've seen Robin. They'll have him in the start gate right now. Waiting for the course clear.
Hey, Aaron.
Two-run event, folks. Second run slated for a 2 p.m. start.
Word on the street is that Robin Kusch is the nephew of legendary alpine skier demigod Didier Kusch. It's word on the street. You got to Wikipedia that one, but
yeah,
I believe my sources.
You know, you don't see the Kusch name thrown around very often. Seconds to start. If you folks are wondering about the delays, not only do we concern ourselves with the welfare of the athlete, if they happen to go down on course, we always make sure they're all right, get them moved to a safe location, but then our timing system has to go through at least a full cycle. Here we go, on course. Robin Kusch from Switzerland. First look at this skier.
Really starts to pick up in this midsection for the athletes. A couple of steeper rolls that they need to generate speed off of. So really pumping into the face of this roll, trying to carry that speed over this next little flat section coming over coaches. And then they need to carry that speed through the lower section below coaches.
Our first look at the Swiss skier, Robin Kusch. Let's watch these turns. This is where it's critical.
Just such finesse coming down here, right? You can see the... That was an unkind snow sake that just came out of nowhere there.
Tough luck for the initial viewing with Robin Kusch. Had a really good one going. Just got caught on that slippery stuff on the side of the turn.
It is a risk many of these athletes are running today. You know, you're really challenging the hill, you're charging it, getting on the front of the ski, trying to get as much pressure early on in the turn. And when you do that, when you're all loaded up, sometimes things just pop. What a bummer for Robin Kush.
Another first look coming at us, Josh. This time it's an Italian, Niccolò Maria Orsini. Yeah, big shout out to Robin Kush. Some tough luck there. Just seconds away from the finish line. That's racing. All right, I know that's Orsini in the start gate. I know that Italian red race suit.
On course. Straight away into the bull, trying to get as much speed on these top 3-4 turns before you come over basketball. First blind turn of the track. Definitely need to have speed coming in. You want to take and build as much as you can coming through this next section. There's delay there. Now we got some terrain to work. We're coming in between basketball and coaches. A couple of roller sections there that the snow falls away on you, the hill falls away on you. Looking like no problem here for the Italian.
Orsini looking really solid in here. Making a beautiful series of link turns. Dips into the shade for a couple and then back into this brilliant sunshine. So the snow is a little bit strange right now, as we got a report from Mitch Gorley telling us, yeah, it's doing some weird stuff. It's going to need a little bit more heat on it before it gets consistent again. Orsini having a good one coming at us. It's our first look at the Italian. Let's welcome him to the finish line. Niccolò Maria Orsini from Italy with a time of 1:08.36.
On course from the Netherlands, Thomas Mulder. The guy's got to start to wonder if this time of day with this many athletes running, are conditions starting to deteriorate?
Certainly hasn't been a factor the first couple of days here, Josh, as you're well aware. Mulder did compete yesterday. One of, I believe, 2 athletes that are competing and representing the Netherlands. He was 14th in yesterday's Super Combined. Seems to have some really good pace going up top. Mulder from the Netherlands coming into view now. Sun finally moving off this bottom section. Great turns, staying on track. 2 to go for the Netherlands, Thomas Mulder. Heading the line with a 1:07.66.
What a fight for Mulder. You can see when he comes into the finish area how tired these athletes are. This GS course is swinging. It's taking them across the hill. He's got to try and stop at the bottom and just, you can see these guys have put 110% into that run. Great run for Mulder. Of course, Canadian Kurt Shortstein. Oh, I know the crowd's going to make noise all the way and all day long for Shortstein. Knows his hill well. He's hungry. He's strong. He's built for this track today.
All right, we'll see what the Kirksters got in store for us. Fingers crossed, Canada. Clean through coaches.
He's staying ahead of this tricky, turny lower section here. Making short work of it. You can feel the love. He's coming in. He's coming home. He's coming hard.
All right.
Shortstein.
The time for Canada's Kirk Shortstein, 1:08.10.
course, in Japan, we have Masahiko Tokai.
Masahiko, first time we've seen this Japanese skier this week. We've almost got rid of the shaded spots on the track. Another 10 minutes, that should be gone, which bodes well for the remainder of the competitors in the men's GS standing category as Toke approaches just underneath the bottom of the slalom course. We'll be seeing action on that on Tuesday. In the meantime, Masahiko Toke with a first run time of 1 minute, 6.82 seconds.
Up next, much to the pleasure, I'm sure, of the Austrian audience and the fans today, Christoph Bernhard Schneider on course.
All right, watching Schneider moving through this section of the course. Lighten it up. Looking solid over top of the ski. This is what we're talking about. We're looking for stuff like this. It's the World Championships after all. We expect nothing but the best. Christoph Bernhard Schneider from Austria. His first run time, 1 minute, 8 seconds, .32. All right, Kiwi on course. Adam Hall will be our next racer.
See Adam shaking it up. He has historically been focused on slalom and super combined, and now he's just doing the whole gamut. Downhill at the beginning of the week, and now in the GS. Putting together a strong run. He is feeling good about his skiing right now. So we'll get to see that today.
Adam, if you're not familiar, has a unique equipment set up. He actually ties the tips of his skis together. There's probably, I don't know, about a 15-centimeter space in between them, if that. He defies anybody else to do that to their equipment and race down the hill. A little bit of shadow, but not much. He's in there for a split second, and he is back out. Coming over that last roll. Past the bottom of the hay fever slope. We'll be slalom racing there on Tuesday. Adam Hall from New Zealand. Working it. He's got a good one going right here. Remember, it is a 2-run event. Adam Hall from New Zealand heading towards the finish line. The time for Hall and his first run is a 1:10:21.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, up next on course, and it looks like he's side slipping now. We have Ralph Green of the United States. I didn't catch what what put him in that position. Bummer for Ralph.
We'll see if we could pick up a video replay. Looked like it was pretty close to the start, maybe just over basketball. Naturally, we've got a little bit of a delay.
On course from Poland, we have Andrzej Szczesny.
Andre Chesney from Poland.
Putting together a really solid run. He's skiing this track with confidence right now. He's newer to the sport, I believe, and for sure making his inaugural performance this week. So getting familiar with the hill, and you can see that he's building every turn on the way down here. I think he likes the style of this set.
Josh, just looking at the remainder of the competitors on the start list in the men's giant slalom standing category, new faces except for even Tyler. I'm not sure about Tyler Carter, whether Tyler has been in the mix or not this week. So I'll be very excited to see what happens, and very excited to see what Andre Chesney has to offer up. The racer from Poland, 2 gates from the finish line, tucking it through, getting a great first run time, 1:09.75. Two skiers from the UK back-to-back. Starting off, we'll see James Whitley, followed by Chris Lloyd. Whitley on course right now. Check it out, diving out of that brilliant sunshine, deking back in. This is what Josh was talking about, being tough to be able to see the features, the terrain features really cleanly because you're in and out of the shadows. Don't think that will be a factor on the second run. As Whitley from the UK approaches the finish line on his first appearance at this year's World Championships. 4 turns from the homeland, here he comes, tucking it out. Crossing the line. The time for Great Britain is James Whitley, 1:10.97. Okay, countryman for Whitley on course next. Chris Lloyd. Point bid number 65. We are seeing some specialists beginning to pop onto the start list as the tech skiers, individuals that have a little more of a leaning towards the giant slalom and slalom, jump onto the start list and show us what they got here at the World Championships at Panorama Resort. Six skiers left in the men's giant slalom standing category, and then we move to the final category of the morning, which will be the men's GS sitting.
A little bit of a misread on the course there for Chris Lloyd. Looks like he is veered off track, and it's what the experience of having a chance to run the circuit over the years really helps with is knowing your way over some of these blind corners. There's parts of this track that disappear on you, and you really have to know from your memorization and inspection where things are, and for sure, a little disappointing for Chris Lloyd. On course, we have Jasper Balken from Belgium.
Another new name on the start list. Watch and see how Jasper handles this upper section. Making the move over coaches. Into the shade for just a turn, maybe a turn and a bit. Back into some brilliant sunshine. He'll be coming over the roll right now. Here he comes. Let's make him feel welcome. First appearance in this year's Alpine Skiing World Championships from Belgium, Jasper Balken. Hanging on that outside ski, trying to drill it home. Here he comes, grabbing the tuck on the finish line. Jasper Balken, 1:13.30.
Great run, lots of love from the crowd here. You got to be excited with that. course from the Czech Republic. Oh, yeah, Czech Republic. Miroslav Lidinski. No, Andrea Valenti from Italy.
All right, check it out. He's heading down. He's getting close.
Right now, linking together some great turns, taking advantage of this awesome course. Crowd's bringing in with great cheer right now, ladies and gentlemen. Andrea Valente of Italia.
Valenti showing us his stuff. 1:12.47 first run time for Italy's Andrea Valenti. From the Czech Republic, our third to last competitor in this category will be Miroslav Lidinski. This is a first look at Lidinski as well. Skiing for Czech. He will be followed by Poland's Amadeus Iwanowski, and the United States' Tyler Carter will wind things up in the men's giant slalom standing category. Here he comes across the line, Miroslav Lidinski from Czech. His time, 1:16.66. On course representing Poland, Amadeus Iwanowski.
Coming at us from the back of the pack, but with lots of speed, lots of heat right now, really pushing the line, taking some chances, running deep. Caught up a little bit there in a little bit of a flatter section, so that's going to cost him. But wow, really digging hard up to that point.
Staying really tight on the gates too, Josh, which is what I like to see these guys trying to straighten that line out, taking a little bit of risk as they approach the finish line. They know they've got to be in the mix, so they have to have a good, solid first run. They don't necessarily have to be the fastest, but they've got to be in the hunt. And it looks like Iwanowski is in that hunt. Will catch his first run time, 1:13.46. Not bad. Brings us to our final skier in the men's giant slalom standing category from the United States, Tyler Carter. Hey folks, I got to remind you that there's got burgers going, they're selling beers and everything else. It's hot, it's sunny, you got to be getting thirsty. That tent just on the edge of the viewing area, wide open. Go check it out. All right, we got him picked up right now. The American Tyler Carter. Carter clean on the bottom series of turns. Let's see if he's got what it takes to stay in the mix for the second run this afternoon. Start time, 2 o'clock. The American 2 from the finish. Ooh, hung it out there a little bit, but brings it across the line. You're looking at a 1:17.41 for Tyler Carter.
He looks happy. He looks like he put everything into that run. He's feeling good, and that does round off our men's giant slalom standing category, run 1 at the 2015 IPC Alpine Skiing World Championships. Moving into men's sitting category coming on up.
All right, Josh, this is your old posse. You're going to have some stories to tell about these individuals, I hope.
Oh, no dirt on the radio, but I can tell you that our first skier today, Takashi Suzuki, is very, very good in GS. His points are low right now, which means he's been competitive all season. And this type of tourney course may be favorable to a guy like Suzuki. Right behind him, Tyler Walker out of the United States. Another guy that could do really well on this style of course. Thomas Nolte of Germany, Taiki Mori of Japan, Corey Peters of New Zealand, who's been having just a phenomenal week. Trains and prepares for GS. This is what he came here for. He has come to take the title for GS. He said, well, you know, the bonus in the first 3 events, I'll take those, but I'm here for the GS. Following Mr. Peters from New Zealand, we have Akira Kano from Japan. Again, another guy that can always be a threat in GS. Igor Syganorski from Poland. This will be his debut. He has not competed in the speed events, so his first time on this track may be an advantage. Maybe he's a GS guy and maybe he's well rested. Or maybe the other guys who have run this track all week might find that to be an advantage to them. From there, we go to France with Jean-Yves Lemieux. France as well with Frederic Francois. Kenji Natsumi from Japan to round off just the first page of this category. Maybe I'll leave you there for now because it is a long list. We have about another 30 athletes ahead. And I know a lot of these guys are very, very excited to run this stage World Championship event.
Got to interject here, tell you a little bit about Japan's Taiki Mori. Some of his latest triumphs in 2013 at the IPC Alpine Skiing World Championships. This particular event, the gold in the giant slalom, the gold in the Super G, and gold in the Super Combined. So pretty good run for Taiki Mori in 2013. Then in 2014 at Sochi, took the silver in the Super G.
Suzuki is on course.
Well, we'll tell you a little bit about Takashi Suzuki in 2013. Overall winner in the men's slalom sitting category, as well at Sochi. Gold in the slalom, bronze in the downhill.
Oh man, Drew, the Japanese are hungry right now. They haven't had the success they normally do in the speed events, so you know they're all going to be coming at this track with a lot of fury right now. And Suzuki's doing just that. He's got the ability to make big angles, get across the hill real quick, but he's even seen in some sections this track is very turny. He's still on his feet, so to speak. Oh, that's a bummer. Suzuki was just hammering down, came over coach's corner there, and just not enough direction, and the surface is slick today.
We'll see it on the replay right here. Seemed to just go inside a little bit. Did he get a bit light on that breakover, Josh?
Yeah, for sure. You will get light over the breakover, and we just watched him do a 720 and ski out of it. That just happened at full GS speed.
So
we're looking at Thomas Nolte right now. I'm not sure why we went right over Tyler Walker, but this is Germany's Thomas Nolte on course, and for sure this is a track for Tom. We just found out that Tyler Walker is a scratch today, just not feeling well, saving himself for the slalom. Nolte's got speed, no doubt about that. He is hanging it out there every single turn. This guy's hungry. He is a competitor. He's here to win every day.
Nolte, the first German that we're going to see in the men's giant slalom sitting category.
This big, swingy, turny track doesn't seem to be bothering Nolte at all. It seems like he's built for it. Germany's Nolte coming in with great speed. Will he give us the new time to beat?
Check it out. The time for Nolte from Germany, 1:07:01. Our next skier from Japan, fourth in yesterday's Super Combined, Taiki Mori.
Holy beans, Maury's skiing really well right now. This is how I remember Maury skiing, just charging every single turn. He is a GS machine, and he's on point right now. This track is definitely working out for Maury. Look at the big angles he's getting. His suspension's absorbing all this terrain, and it is a little bit bumpy out there. I thought we'd see that with Kosicki's. No surprise, Maury's in the green right now.
So Josh, I got to ask you, how do you set yourself up for that accident you're getting in the ski? Looks like Maury's got it nailed.
Look at how well he keeps his upper body straight down the hill, and he's able just to keep a tight line, moving his lower body side to side.
Good time, 1:03.81. That's the fastest so far in the men's GS sitting division.
Our new leader is Taiki Mori of Japan. Of course, Corey Peters looking to change that.
All right, you mentioned that Corey before is hungry for GS. This is his bread and butter. He wants to show the world he's got what it takes to stand on the top step this afternoon for the award ceremony.
Whoa, what a great move by Peters there. Holy cow, he got rocked by that little pothole, made no difference to his game plan. He corrected incredibly well. What an athlete.
4:30 this afternoon in front of the Day Lodge, folks, for the awards ceremony, recognizing the top 3 in each one of our categories for today's giant slalom portion of this year's 2015 IPC Alpine Skiing World Championship. Here he comes.
Let's bring him down, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Peters is having himself a great week. I know he loves throwing down for us right now. He's having a good time. New Zealand's Corey Peters. Back in the green. He was up and down all run. In the green, out of the green. Back in the green. We have a new fast time, 1:03.77. Put Taiki Mori into second position for the time being.
Peters with a 1:03.77. Taiki Mori 1:03.81. That's pretty tight.
Kano on course now.
Japanese crew, as you mentioned earlier on, Josh. Very, very powerful. Great technique.
A little bit turny in there, a little bit quick for Cano, which might cost him a little bit.
Watch this. Terrain's starting to get a little bit bumpy out there. Boys in the sit skis have got their work cut out for them. Let's welcome him to the finish line, ladies and gentlemen, from Japan, Akira Kano.
1:08.96. Up next from Poland, this will be his first event of the week for Igor Sikorski. He's got great points in GS, and he is looking very strong right now. He's charging this hill. Really diving into those followaways. He's actually got the fastest time right now. He is feeling good. It's really fun to see. Rather than holding back on some of the more challenging parts of the section where lights go out or the hill falls away, he's just diving right into it.
Good to see how he's maintaining that arcing ski from turn to turn, even though terrain's starting to get a little bit lumpy. Our first view at the gentleman from Poland, Igor Sikorski.
Does he have enough on this lower section to put himself back in the green? He skis it clean. This is a very good run. It is good enough. Igor Sikorski from Poland taking the lead. First run.
Wow. Sikorski with a 1:03.75. Corey Peters with a 1:03.77. Are you kidding me?
Yanis Lemire from France is now on course. This guy loves GS, so I wouldn't be surprised to see if he pushes the line even faster. A little bit behind on the first interval.
First time we've seen Jean-Yves Lemur from France this week.
Looks like there's a few turns out there that are challenging Jean-Yves. The icy surface not making it easy, but he has still got great speed coming into this bottom section. Robbins racing. That was tight. Really pinching the line in there and just got on the inside that panel and unfortunately spun him out. Frederic Francois, teammate, countryman, fellow French.
Fast Freddy Francois from France, third in yesterday's Super Combi. Let's find out what he's going to throw down for us this morning. Just a few minutes before noon on this beautiful sunshine Sunday here at Panorama Resort. Got a shout out to Mother Nature. She's been sending us the love all week since we started running downhill back on Wednesday. Television feed going around the world. I'm sure folks are pretty excited to see how beautiful it is here in southeastern British Columbia. Great racetrack down here. Still got beautiful soft snow conditions up high. Over in the bowls, through the trees, great action to be had. Panorama Resort, the host of this year's 2015 IPC Alpine Skiing World Championships. We're racing GS today. Tomorrow's a weather day. Don't really need it here. But we're going to take it off anyway, just to rest the horses. And we'll be back with the final event of the championships on Tuesday. That will be the slalom. I can hardly wait for that.
Yeah, but that one pothole is a really amazing recovery. Mr. Corey Peters telling me here that he was attacking, he was ripping. The track allowed for it, but really difficult today. Really icy, really slippery. And Corey showed us yet again that to be a fast skier, it's not the one who makes the least amount of mistakes. It's the one who recovers the best from them and moves on. You kept driving forward all run. It's a fast time. You're in the hunt right now. All the best in your second run, Mr. Peters. Thanks for the little heads up. Icy track today, folks. Not going to be easy for the drivers, but still attackable, says Mr. Peters from New Zealand.
All right, our next skier on course from France, Frédéric Francois. We'll watch Freddie fly. As I mentioned, Francois third in yesterday's Super Combined.
Freddie's having a great season. He's having a great week here. I know he likes GS. First athlete on the dual ski, and obviously giving him the traction he needs on this icy course. He's in the green right now, and looks like he's just so stable, picking up speed everywhere we go.
Checking out the equipment of Francois, as Josh just alluded to. 2 skis as a platform. Vast majority of the athletes in the sitting category using 1. Let's see. Oh, a little bit of a sketch.
In there. It does get a bit swingy. He knew it was coming. You saw him set up, but just didn't have enough angle to make it clean. But he knew and he was ready. He attacked, bringing it down all the way, giving nothing up. You have to, on this hill, if you want to be successful, if you want to be fast, you got to charge every single turn.
First run time for France's Frédéric Francois, 1:04.54.
Frédéric will be hunting this afternoon, but he's got about a second to make up here. Our next athlete on course was Kenji Natsumi from Japan, and it looks like he just spun sideways. He's on his feet, so that's good. But end of the day for Kenji, unfortunately. Up next from Switzerland, we have Christoph Kuntz. He's no stranger to success in GS. This guy has got a great history in GS. I know this is one of his particular favorites. Coming out of Sochi 2014, Kuntz is our Paralympic champion. So expect that he will be attacking this hill today. Following Kunici, we've got Dino Skololovic from Croatia. Another guy that could be very strong in the GS. George Kreider of Germany, Christopher Young after that, and 2 threats. Kunti on course. Good switches on the stop section, but right away you can tell that he's finding the surface to be a little bit slippery. Still charging, but trying to build that trust up with the snow right now.
Very interesting with the changing snow surface. I can't emphasize enough the amount of pressure that is being put on the snow with these skis. These athletes have got incredible angles developing and drilling downward through the ski into the snow. And it's whether or not that snow surface is willing to hold together or whether it's going to blow apart. When the snow disintegrates underneath the ski, that's when you start to see them drifting sideways. And that's when the concerns start to develop. Green lit. That's good to see. All right.
He's slow and steady, and he knows that he can just continue to build speed coming down here. You see the outriggers going up, means he's hanging it out. All these drivers are slightly different. Mr. Kunzi's running from his chest up in terms of muscle to control the rig. And with that, I can tell you right now, he is hammering to the utmost of his ability. It's good, 103.84. I believe that's a top 3. So far, first run, really very tight race so far. Do we have a recap, Drew? What's our top 5 right now? It's like less than half a second splitting it up.
Man, live. It's a busy little area around the lead.
Croatia's Dino Skokolovic on course right now. You can tell he too is having a little bit of difficulty finding that surface. It is so slick. If your skis aren't perfectly tuned today, you're just going to be slipping and sliding around. We've seen it with a lot of athletes before. If you got that perfect ski, you might just have yourself a whole lot of fun.
Here we go. I'll give you the top 5, starting off with 5th place from France. Listen to these times. Frederic Francois, a 1:04.54. That's good enough for 5th place. In 4th spot, we jump down to the 3s, 1:03.84. That's good enough for 4th. That's Christoph Kuntz. In 3rd position with a 1:03.81. That's right. 4th was 1:03.84. 3rd, 1:03.81. That is Taiki Mori from Japan. In 2nd with a 1:03.77. That's Corey Peters from New Zealand. And finally, Igor Sikorsky with the lead with a 1:03.75. They're jammed in there tight as our next skier comes across the finish line. That's Dino Sokolovic from Croatia.
George Kreider of Germany is on course now. This guy knows how to ski GS. His points are low. He's consistently in the hunt every day, and he likes this hill. I know that.
Kreider had a pretty good day yesterday, found himself right in the thick of things, grabbing the gold medal in the Super Combined event held here.
He stays in the green. He is running a very deep, very aggressive line. He's having no problem with this section where it gets a bit turnier. This is right up George's alley.
Kreider from Germany. Let's bring him in, everybody. Here he comes, drifting a little bit to the outside, on the finish line. The time, first run for Georg Kreider. He's in the mix as well with a 1:03.13.
He's our new leader.
Your new leader.
Thank you.
Up next from the United States of America, Christopher Devlin Young. Every day this athlete runs the track, everyone else looks up to the top and says, what the heck is CDY going to do? He's got so much experience and so much drive. When he puts down a good run, it is fantastic. On course, CDY.
All right, Josh, I'm going to have to say that visibility is not an issue right now. Speed available by the boatload, to quote my good friend Brian Stemmel. Here he comes. On his way to the finish line. From the United States of America, CDY Christopher Devlin Young.
He's doing this for you guys right now, ladies and gentlemen. CDY. $109.93 for CDY. On course, Austria's Roman Rabel right now. You know this dog's going to be laying it down. You know he's going to be pushing hard. Only one spot for Roman right now. He wants that top spot. He's got a really aggressive style coming through here. He's not afraid that the course is turning. He's going to make that ski get around the gate just the way he wants.
These guys are pumped. They can't let emotions get the better of them. Remember, this is a two-run event. You got to stand up for the first one to be able to play in the second one. Looks like Rabel's got things in pretty good order.
Look at the way he just hangs it so deep and then just throws that rig over right at the apex of the turn. He's just so aggressive, so precise. Yeah, you know he's going to be happy this run. 103.39.
103.39.
That dog be hunting, he's in there. This is such a tight race, ladies and gentlemen. It's basically turning into a one-run dogfight. Run 2 coming up this afternoon.
We're going to do some quick calculations and we'll give you our top 5. After the main
end
group
of our
of
top
skiers.
seed today, so the top 15 skiers, they all get thrown into a hat and they get mixed up, and that was our top 15 for today. We're moving into Johan Taberlet out of France, followed by Dietmar Dorn of Austria, Yasmin Bamber of USA, are our first 3 in the second half of today's bill.
I'll tell you right now, don't count at this next grouping out either. Lots of time spent on this course over the last couple of days. They are familiar with terrain. And just about anybody can pop one in today.
True. Everybody in the field. Ladies and gentlemen, on course, France's Johan Taberlet.
Chip. We're looking good with this skier. From France, Johan Taberlet.
Ladies and gentlemen, their countrymen down right now. The whole crowd's going wild for Johan. Is the guy. One, two, yeah.
All right, let's bring him home, ladies and gentlemen, from France. Johan Taberlet, 3 turns to go. And he's on the finish line, wrapping up run number 1 with a very, very respectable 107.77.
That'll play for sure. That'll move him into the top 15 for second run. Austrians are already getting fired up for their next. Dietmar Dorn on course.
Don't think we've seen Dietmar yet this week, so I'll be interested to find out how he likes to rock and roll here at Panorama. Following Dorn, we'll see the United States' Yasmin Bamber and France's Cyril Moore, and then Canada's Kurt Otway. So we're going to make some noise for Kurt. Here he comes, Austria, Dietmar Dorn.
A solid run. Look at the angles he's putting every single turn. He's charging hard. He's keeping a high line, which is great. Means he's staying ahead of the gate, not having a panic rush or push the turn at any point. Really smooth through here, running a straighter line than some of the other athletes we just saw coming in. A great time for Dietmar Dorn at 1:07.13.
All right, American skier Yasmin Bambur on course. Yasmin was 9th in yesterday's Super Combine. Actually, he was tied with the gentleman that skis right behind him from France, Cyril Moore. I know he'd love to have himself a good finish time for the first run. Move into the mix.
This to me does look like Frenchman Cyril Moore right now. It is. I'm not sure what happened to Yasmin Bamber, but we have France's Cyril Moore on course right now.
Okay, well, as I mentioned, Cyril finished 9th in a tie with the U.S.'s Yasmin Bamber, I should say.
Picking it up now, really laying the rig over, trying to get as many angles as he can. Fell a little bit behind above us, but finding speed down low. Smashing some gates for good measure. I think he's pretty happy with that. Cyril Moore, 109.75.
Real quick, the top 5. 5th place from Japan, Taki Mori.
On course, Canada's Kurt Otway. Sorry to interrupt, Drew. We have Kurt Otway. This man knows this hill. The crowd wants him to have a good run. Kurt knows that if he puts down a great performance, he's in there with the best in the world here. See how the cards play.
We'll find out what Kurt's going to throw down. As you say, I know he is hungry. He wants to do some damage today. Lots of training, super familiar with the line. Terrain is friendly to him. He's got one little bit of a bump, but I think the course set moves him away for a knoll that's been giving him problems the last couple of days. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Canada's Kurt Otway coming in.
Oh, really
He's
big
got
turn
it.
there, strong turn. Saw the tempo change, adjusted well. He's hammering down now. The louder you go, the faster he comes. Kurt Otway to the
Come
line.
on, Kurt, let's go.
Skiing good, skiing aggressive. It's a good run for Otway. 108.60 for Kurt Otway. On course, Great Britain's Michael Brennan. I wonder if it might be a bit of a weight issue. Some of the athletes that are double amputees seem to be spinning out a little bit easier. We see that with Mick here. It's the track is so slick that if you don't have enough weight, enough pressure, or perfect posture over your ski, you'll find it just so easily going to want to slip away from you.
There's so much trust involved in this sport.
Great turns now. He's found his.
Yep.
He was having a couple real hot turns there, and it looks like it caught up a little bit. This course does change tempo a few times on the athletes, so they really have to inspect well, predict the surface, and trust the calls that the coaches are making, and make the adjustments accordingly. And unfortunately, not the right time for Mick from the Great Britain team.
All right, we saw our next racer yesterday for the first go-around, Ben Sneesby. Another skier from the UK.
All right, Great Britain's Benjamin Sneesby on course right now. This kid is new to the circuit, but man, oh man, he's making an impression. Look at how far over he got the rig and got right back up. Such a strong, naturally talented skier, but working hard. You know, he really wants to make an impression on the circuit, and I think he's doing just that right now.
No bigger stage to do that right here at the IPC Alpine Skiing World Championships at Panorama.
tough for these athletes to fight from the back of the pack, but always exciting when they do. You know, even if they make it back into the top flip 15, that's a big move for some of these younger guys.
Got to stay in the hunt, got to stay hungry and
I gotta tell you,
represent.
man, I love this guy's style. You know, he really trusts his ski. He's balanced on his sit ski. He's making big turns right now. He's running a great line. This is an awesome run for Sneesby.
Real good show for Benjamin Sneesby.
A little bit of a turn coming over the finish line. 108.19 for Benjamin Sneesby.
Australian Mark Sawyer will be our next competitor. Oh, looks like he's got it parked there on course. I guess some days your run goes that way, you know, you just push out of the start gate. Just seemed to get over basketball, and that was it.
It is slick, and you're just changing pitches there and changing slope, so tough break for Mark Sawyer of Australia. I got Benjamin Sneesby here. How was that? That was a great run from our point of view. Are you stoked?
Yeah. But, you know, I tried to keep on the edge and, as much as I could, and yeah, I haven't seen the time, but not too disappointed.
Keep having a radio failure here. Thanks so much, Benjamin. Good luck second run. On course, United States of America, Stephen Lawler. He's been saving himself up for the tech events this week, and obviously paying off. Looks like he's carrying great speed coming down here.
Yep, fatigue has to start to play into some of these athletes. Even though we've had a day off on Friday, it's just like the Tour de France, where when they have a day off, they still jump on their bikes and ride. These skiers do not actually take a day off. They still run some gates. They're still on their equipment, tweaking, going over some strategies, getting some free runs on the race line if it's available.
Incredible recovery rate there by Lawler, you know, really hammering down, trying to ski the tightest line that he can, making big angles. He's a strong athlete that way. He can bend the ski, look just like that, but a little too much energy on that turn. That one was falling away on him, and it cost him a little bit.
Just stay at the top part, but no problem. Wow.
Hammering down. Let's make some noise for Stephen Lawler.
His first appearance on the World Championship stage this week at Panorama. Shaking his head as he comes across the line. He knew he let one go.
Teammate, fellow American Joshua Elliott on course right now, followed by two Canadians coming up for their premier performance at the World Championships. I can hear Josh's family in the crowd right now just getting so fired up. This is a great run. He's really putting them together. He's coming over coaches now. Looked like he set up really well. He knew the tempo was going to change coming off that.
Really nice series of link turns coming past coach's corner. Underneath the bottom of Tuesday's slalom run right now. Here he comes. All right. Oh, yeah. Tighten it up a little bit for the last few gates. In nice and personal. Let's bring him home, ladies and gentlemen, from the U.S., Josh Elliott.
Two Canadians up next. We have Alex Cairns and Jeff Thompson. Alex is on course.
A couple of young guns on the team. Josh, know anything about them?
Oh, yeah. Alex is one of the strongest free skiers I know. He's just getting into the race scene right now. Last couple years really dedicated to try and figure out the sport. And right now what I'm seeing is a huge improvement from where I saw Alex last. Really starting to trust that ski. And linking quite a few really good turns together. I think Alex has got to be happy with this one.
What these remaining athletes have to do is attack from the back of the pack. Make your mark on it. Here he comes. We got to shout him out here. This is a Canadian, Alex Cairns.
Bring down the bagler, his teammates call him. Alex, the carnivore Cairns, really hanging it out there. He's racing right now. He's performing. Putting on a darn fine show for everybody here today. Nice run, Alex Cairns. Welcome to the big show, buddy. Great first run. Teammate Jeff Thompson, he's on deck.
Okay.
The future of Canada looks bright with these guys. Jeff's still hanging it out there. A little bit of a balance. Oh, he recovered well, but didn't get out of the way of the gate, unfortunately. Yeah, just a memo for all the athletes, just getting this in. There's a half an hour delay between the first inspection and also a half an hour delay, obviously, for the start time. So that's going to bump us back to, let me look at my notes here.
Can I reposition on 2?
Okay. So that leaves us at a 1 o'clock inspection time for the VI. All others 10 minutes later, so 1:10. Race is now going to start at 2:30. So for everybody in the crowd, take note, 2:30 start time. American Andrew Earl Kirka, third in the Super G on course right now. Andrew's hanging it out there. You can see struggling to hold it together, but wow, oh wow, this guy's going to make some big angles. He's here to put on a show. He's here to show us what can be done, and expect him to be hammering down all the way to the very last turn.
Okay, Kirker coming down here on fire and fuego, as they say. If he can hang it in here, he's got a quick one coming down towards us right now. Watch these last series of turns from the United States. Andrew Earl Kirker, whoa!
How does he stay upright on that? That's incredible moves. I know that's disappointing for Kirka. I know he was looking for a little more on that run, but unbelievable to get rocked like that and still keep it on. He's not even holding on to his outrigger. Good save, Kirka.
Way to go, Andrew. Okay. That's got to be worthy of something like a Best in Show award or something like that.
Up next, my good friend Efimios Kalaras from Greece coming in. Thought he'd try skiing. He's like, why not? Let's try something new, says the Paralympic gold medal discus thrower.
Okay, I'm glad you've got some close ties with this gentleman that's on course right now. Efimios Kalaras from Greece, our second to last competitor for the first run of this morning's giant slalom. We're actually into the afternoon.
This is a really impressive run. He is skiing clean, he's skiing aggressive. He's got a great line right now. I can't imagine that he's not incredibly pleased with how this is turning out. He came at the sport a little bit later on in life because, you know what, he wanted to try something new. It looked exciting. He's obviously taken that same work ethic from the Summer Paralympic Games, applied it here. Wow, this is solid skiing top to bottom.
So the skier from Greece out of the course. We'll just start to make his way down.
Looks like something happened just before that final break. Lost the camera on that one, but disappointing for Efimios Kalaras from Greece. One more skier to go.
We have an Icelander. No, you do it. I'll do it.
I was just trying to do my geography. ISL. I'm like, ISL, where are we from? It doesn't matter at this moment. It is Iceland. It is Johan Thor Holmgrimsson.
All right, you got to shout your buddy out there, Josh. Holmgrimsson on course. He's still working it.
You know what the viewers at home really need to realize is like how icy this is icy as a skating rink. It is a sheet of glare ice out here. And for the athletes to come down here at the speed they are is incredible. And for all the athletes in the field today, just making it down, linking them together, this is really great to see by Johan Thor.
Johan Thor, nice smooth turns. Staying in contact. Remember, it's all about getting a second run. We've seen a few skiers today that have had really fast runs to the halfway point of the course and then have gone out. That doesn't help you in the afternoon because you're on the sidelines looking in. It appears, and I don't want to speak too early, that Iceland's Johan Thor Holmgrimsson is going to see a second run. Let's bring him across the line, our final skier of the first run from Iceland, Johan Thor Holmgrimsson.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2015 IPC Alpine Skiing World Championships, the athletes went hard from 1 through 100. The crowd never slowed down all day. Everybody's fired up for this incredible performance is being thrown down by so many athletes. Again, a little bit of delay coming in. 2:30 start time for all the fans to be back up here. Then an update for all the athletes as well. We have a 1 o'clock start for the VI inspection, 1:10 for everybody else.